We have Tom Harper from Avidyne. Tom, tell me what's happening with all things Avidyne these days. You guys should be getting ready to power up the old Cirrus fleet and a few other things.
It's getting close. We've accumulated a lot of flight hours on our Vantage test aircraft. So
you haven't invited me to come down and play with it at all?
We're getting
Shame
close.
On you.
We're getting close.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So that's a really exciting project for us, and I think it's going to, and as we shared with the dealers here, it's going to provide them a lot of opportunity to do, to modify over 4,000 Cirrus airplanes out there.
Especially those six-packs.
Yeah. So yeah, there's about 3,700 of the Integra airplanes, and then maybe 300 or 400 that were pre-Integra.
Yeah.
That could use a big glass, but a lot of the Integra guys are looking for synthetic vision. They're going to get big 12-inch glass. They're going to get touchscreen interface, but most importantly, I think for them is they want to get the dual ADAHRs so that they can have, if they, in the event of a PFD fail, they can fail over to the MFD and continue to fly on the autopilot. So that's a big improvement over the first generation.
And all this, of course, is based on the work you did with R9 and so forth.
It really is. There was Integra 1, then we did the Release 9 R9 platform, and this is really kind of R10. It's the next evolution.
I'm dying to fly it because I've said many a time that R9 was, in the GA world, was just the best platform I'd flown. And it was especially fun when I'd ever have to bomb on down to Miami and they played, roulette at the last minute with approaches.
Yep.
And in, brand G, it's this, and, in R9, it was, a couple twists, a couple button push, that was it, and then you check the pink line and you're in business. It was so easy to fly that system.
That's right, and the IFDs that we have today are essentially the R9 FMS repackaged in a Mark width. And we'll also, with the Vantage, be able to edit and manage flight plans from the MFD using the touchscreen, or get, of course, down on the dedicated federated boxes.
Outstanding. When will what's the approximate availability going to be like? What are we looking at here?
Well, my crystal ball hasn't been very good, so but I know we're darn close on wrapping up the flight test program. We've got a few more things to tighten up on the code, and we're working closely. We had the FAA in for 2 days last week, and they're really impressed with what they've seen of the program. So. If all goes well, mid to late year, I guess is best I can guess at this point.
I'd love to see it, but you got to invite me to come down and fly it, man.
Yeah, we're getting closer to that point where we can do that.
Well, looking forward to it. It'd be interesting to see what's changed or evolved from R9. That to me sounds exciting to say the least. What else is new?
Well, some of the announcements actually that came out of the recent helicopter show is our IFD 550s were selected by the Colombian Army for their avionics upgrade program on the UH-1s and the Mi-17s and the Blackhawks down there. So that's an exciting program.
Fun equipment.
Yep. And they're going to get synthetic vision and terrain awareness and a lot of nice features, not just a navigator. As far as other helicopter news, we're now delivering NVG capable IFD 550s, our 5 series, out of the factory, where they used to have to go to a third party to get night vision goggle compatibility. So we can deliver that from the factory. So then we'll follow that on with the 4 series and the Helios. So it's just expanding our capability in our own production factory in Melbourne, Florida. Mm-hmm. And then we've got a couple of our dealers have been busy. We've got one in the UK, Horizon, that did an AML STC to certify the GNS to IFD slide-in in 9 different models of helicopters. So it just makes it easier for the next dealer to do that install. You have the
and
paperwork.
Even more of an imperative now that the GNS series is being sunlit in a big way.
Right, they have some parts that are obsolete or going obsolete. So as those become unrepairable, some of them aren't yet, but as they do, we have a solution that'll go in there. And we're encourage people, maybe it's time to do it earlier rather than later, so you can get on to the next generation product and all the other additional features that come with that. So that's kind of what we've been up to. We did, moving up market into Part 25, we had a dealer, SAB Aviação in Brazil, who did an approval on our dual Atlas FMSs in the Falcon 50. So kind of starting to extend our reach a little bit in that market. It's been a slow go, but we're getting there. And in the helicopter space. And now with Vantage, we're going to really open up the GA market, and that's going to continue to evolve.
Well, I'm curious to see where Vantage goes after Cirrus. If you ever do Twin Comanches, call me. That'll be fun. How do you see your place in the business right now? It's been an interesting couple of years, especially post-pandemic.
Yep.
The shop issue out there has been kind of turbulent, both from a supply standpoint as well as being able to find people and everything else. But building a dealer network and maintaining a dealer network is almost as tough as developing a product.
Yep, and we've got a lot of great dealers, and we continue to grow our dealer network. We're doing a lot of training here at the show. I think Vantage is going to open up a lot of opportunities, but also the GNS retrofit is, there's just a ton of those out there that need to be taken care of. And as those come up for repair, we think there's an opportunity there to upsell them to a next generation navigator.
The
Excuse me.
The Cirrus project, how did you select that? Where did that go? I mean, where was the genesis of that? Why that airframe? Especially, considering how that whole project went, because at one point you were everything Cirrus was doing with the panel, and then new management screwed up and went a whole different way.
Yep, a lot of moving parts on that. But the one nice thing back in 2002, we brought big glass to market. We were first to have a big screen EFIS systems in little airplanes.
Remember it well.
And it was a boon for the industry.
It was the poor man's space shuttle, man.
It really was.
It was
and
cool.
I recall that we were trying to do predictions on what the uptake might be as a percentage of the fleet in the production year. Oh, maybe 50% up. And overnight, the entire industry changed.
Yeah.
And it was like if you didn't have big glass, you couldn't sell an airplane.
Flipped the switch.
Really did. And so we kind of owned that Cessna market until from 02 to 07, maybe into 08. And we were working on R9, but they decided to make a switch right about the time the market collapsed in 08, in fact, but just coincidentally. But now we've got those installed base of 4,000 airplane out there that are, we've continued to do upgrades with them. We upgraded to WAS in 07. We upgraded to ADS-B with the R8 software prior to R9. And then we added the IFDs, which gave them touchscreen and synthetic vision when they replaced their GNSs. DFC-90 was a big upgrade for those guys to get onto an attitude-based autopilot. So we've helped to grow that fleet and evolve with the technology, and now it's time to upgrade the glass. And Vantage was just the next logical step to get us to the next generation of flight deck.
Do you have any ideas where you go past Cirrus?
Well, there's an Integra fleet out there.
Yeah.
There's several hundred of the Columbia 350-400s out there.
Yes. There's
about 800 Pipers out in the world with Integra. Some are more fit to the current Vantage than others.
Yeah.
If you look at the PA-46, the Matrix, maybe a couple hundred airplanes, but they have the identical package that's in the Cirrus.
Yeah.
And we've already done the DFC-90 STC. So that might be a logical next step. But we'll look at it as we go.
Airplane. Wow.
Oh, yeah,
and the best part is those older airframes right now are holding up well. There's a bunch of great engine upgrades. You can fly those things forever.
Yep.
But you do that panel just right, it's just going to be a traveling machine.
Right. So some of those guys have upgraded to a third display, PFD, a third display.
Yeah.
So it remains to be seen which market we attack first. We just want to get this one done first. And then there's also the entire retrofit market. We've got a DFC-90 already certified in the 182s and the Bonanzas, the 836s. So that's an opportunity to put Vantage there, but as you know, a 12-inch glass isn't going to fit in those airplanes.
No.
They got a yoke going through the middle of the panel, where the Cirruses don't.
Yeah.
So what makes sense there is maybe a slightly smaller piece of glass with the same engine on the back.
Yeah.
So Vantage 11 will be a follow-on program.
I can't wait to see what happens. The interface and the menuing system that went with R9 and whatever's followed up is just so intuitive and so much easier than twist this, push that again, twist that, and other menuing systems. And I just can't understand why that hasn't been ripped off in a big way, because it was just such a delightful system to fly.
No doubt.
And the best part was the visual cueing on that was right there. I mean, you knew what was happening.
Well, the pages are plainly labeled.
Yeah.
You can get to any page in 1 or 2 clicks. So Page and Tab has been a really popular UI choice that we made, and proven to serve us well in that regard. None of the nested menuing where you're not 4 layers deep into unmarked pages. So part of the advantage is when you get to bigger glass, you can do some of that. Other parts of it is just thinking about FMS a little differently. Geofill, nominating the next waypoint.
Yep.
It knows whether you're doing a direct to or you're building a flight plan to which one it wants to nominate. Smart stuff.
It really was, and is, I suppose. Yeah. Well, looking forward to it. And again, down the line, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm falling behind some generation of that in the future, because I sure had fun with it. It was a good time. So the work you're doing that I've been watching carefully in the business aviation community, which is really kind of tight, and competition is fierce. Yep. There's a lot of major players that have been doing the same thing over and over and over again, but are still owning a lion's share of the market. How do you get your foot in there and keep it there without getting chopped off?
Yep. Well, in the Part 25 world, and even in the CJ and the light jet market, we've made some inroads there with point solutions, whether it's the IFD in the panel, upgrading the old GNSs, or an Atlas upgrading an old Universal that can't do WAS. And with our glass interface, we can interface to the existing EFIS without having to spend, $250,000 putting new glass in. So we've kind of played as a niche player in that market thus far. But as we move along, we'll continue to add more content and hopefully get to a point where we can do glass as well. But we're not trying to be all things to all people, but the products that we offer, we believe are best in class and really offer some unique features that you can't find elsewhere. So
it's fun to watch.
Thank you.
It really is. Anything else that we should be on the lookout for come Sun and Fun Oshkosh?
Well, like I said, this is the year of Vantage. We're really it's all hands on deck to get the Vantage done. So you'll see a similar presentation at Sun and Fun, and hopefully by Oshkosh, we've at least got our demo birds there, or if my fingers are crossed to have deliveries, that may or may not happen.
That'd be wonderful.
But that would certainly be wonderful, because there's a really large pent-up demand out there. There's a bunch of folks that have got deposits. There's a bunch of folks
What is the community telling you about that?
I'm sorry?
What is the Cirrus community telling you about your plans in this regard?
Well, obviously, there's a lot of folks that are waiting on the fence to want to, okay, once it goes, I'm ready.
Yeah.
But if you look at what the alternatives are, there's not a lot of other options. They can go with an alternate brand, but it's a price point is a little bit higher, and I think we can bring more value and more capability. So it's worth the wait.
Replacing those airframes has become insane.
Yeah.
I can't believe the pricing on them right now.
Exactly, and so it's making it worth their while to want to upgrade.
Do we have an idea at this point of how much this kind of upgrade is going to cost?
Yeah, if you've already put IFDs and DFC in your airplane, just the glass displays, it's $33,000 with an exchange, and you're on your road. And with our easy installation kit that we've announced at this show, you can easily convert the existing wiring to Vantage with a dramatically less downtime, because we're picking up all the existing wiring and connectors and putting it right back into the Vantage. All your sensors are coming to the MFD already. We can wire those to both. Your air data computer is going to be right on the back, and we can route it to both. So with our easy harness, easy adapters, the installation's super easy. Now, if you're going to start from scratch, you've got a right out of the factory, same configuration today, dual Integra, dual GNS 430s, and an S-Tech. You want to do the autopilot, you want to upgrade both IFDs, and you want to do the two glass, you're looking at around 68,000. So
Okay.
it's still a significant difference between any other alternative out there. So
Yeah,
to do a full replacement.
absolutely.
So we think we're going to be price competitive, certainly feature competitive.
It's going to be fun to watch. You have to keep an eye out for it. Please keep us up to date.
We certainly will.
Tom, how can people get more information about what you're doing with those programs?
The best thing to do is go to our website at avidyne.com, and it's going to have all the information you need there. And or shoot us an email at marketing@avidyne.com. That'll come to me, and happy to answer any questions.
There you go. Tom, appreciate your time as
You bet,
always.
Jim. It was a
Look forward to
pleasure.
seeing what you're doing with that. And I'm serious about wanting that call. I want to go out and fly what you're doing, seeing
We'll do it.
what's happened to that in the interim.
Aero-News Network's coverage of the 67th Annual AEA International Convention and Trade Show, live from Grapevine, Texas, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors: